Go, you said, yeah. All yours.
Okay. So on Sunday we have nothing. On Monday I will monitor the Aussie MI inflation gauge month over month. This will be important for the later meeting for the central bank. Yeah. And what else? I will monitor also the Swiss COF economic barometer. Then we have the Swiss GDP quarter-over-quarter all-time frames.
Yep.
And that's it for Monday.
CAD current account?
Yeah, but I said that's it for Monday. For Tuesday, we have indeed the CAD.
Hang on. Is the timing correct?
Perhaps. Yeah.
I did log in. I logged in both times. Let's try it again. CAD current account.
So we were on the current account. No, you are on the right week.
Yep,
yeah.
Yep. Coming.
Okay. So on Monday, so we were on the GDP, Swiss GDP. Okay. The CAD current account all-time frames.
Yes.
Yeah. The US dollar Chicago PMI under H4.
Yep.
Aussie current account all-time frames.
Yep.
And I will monitor the Chinese manufacturing PMI, non-manufacturing PMI, and Asian manufacturing PMI.
Okay, hang on, let me just move that across. Okay.
Tuesday is not, Monday is not finished yet. So then we'll have a big one in red with the Aussie cash rate and RBA rate statement.
Yep.
So high impact, yeah. It is not expected for the central bank to raise its interest rates, but we will have to keep an eye on that. So on Tuesday, can you scroll down the calendar, please? Monitor the 10-year bond auction. Yeah, monitor, indeed.
Okay. Okay, I'll scroll down a bit.
On Tuesday, it may be an idea for the Aussie as well as for any other currency to monitor the commodity prices year over year, just to see how inflation impact the commodities. So then let's see what we will have. We have the CAD GDP month over month all-time frames.
Yep.
The CAD manufacturing PMI, it is the PMI, so not important at all. I will monitor the US dollar ISM manufacturing PMI and ISM manufacturing prices. Then we have the Kiwi GDP price index tentative, so all-time frames.
Okay, and I'll scroll down. Hang on.
Yeah,
excuse me.
we can ignore the totals by Saunders and Mann. I have already checked.
Yes.
Then we will have the Aussie GDP quarter over quarter all-time frames.
Done. Yep.
Then on Wednesday we will have the GBP nationwide HPI month over month under H4.
I'll scroll down a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, got it all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we will have, I will monitor the Euro CPI flash estimate year over year and core CPI flash estimate year over year. And I will explain in a moment why. Yeah.
Yep.
Then monitor also, we can ignore the Bundesbank President Nagel speech, we can ignore. Monitor the OPEC meetings.
Yep.
Monitor the German 10-year bond auction.
Yep.
Then we have the ADP non-farm employment change under H4.
Yep.
We can ignore Bullard. Then we have another big one for the CAD, the Bank of Canada rate statement and overnight rate.
Yep.
Then monitor Powell testifying.
Yep.
monitor especially crude oil inventories. Yeah.
Yep.
Then 10 river we can ignore. I will monitor the US dollar beige book.
Yep.
Then the Aussie trade balance all time frames.
Yep.
And monitor the Chinese cash-in services PMI and monitor the 30-year bond auction for the yen.
And that's different to the, up here was the 10-year bond auction, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. Never noticed that before. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll
This
scroll
time
down.
the 30-year bond auction, longer-term bonds.
Sure.
Then on Thursday, we will have, let's see, the Swiss CPI month-over-month all-time frames.
Oh, I missed that one. Yep.
Then the Euro ECB monetary policy meeting accounts to monitor.
Where are they?
I will.
Hang on. Oh, so not the final services. Okay.
No.
Monitor.
Yeah, monitor.
Okay.
Then the unemployment claims for the US dollar to monitor.
Done.
Then Powell testifying again, so to monitor.
Yep.
I will monitor the US dollar ISM services PMI. Monitor the US dollar natural gas storage. And then the Bank of Canada Governor McClellan speaks to monitor, because this is the press conference after their previous meeting. Yeah.
That's quite a way off, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
indeed. Can you scroll down the page now, Chris?
Sure. So there's...
So, yeah, McClellan, and then unemployment, what else? That's it for Thursday. And on Friday, we have the pound construction PMI under H4. The Euro-French 10-year bond auction to monitor.
Yep.
And then we will have the non-farm payroll, so for the US dollar, with the average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and the unemployment rate.
Okay. And 2 minutes after that is the revision for last
Yeah.
month comes out as well. So, okay. Interesting that CAD hasn't popped up here. Yeah, normally CAD and the US dollar appear at the same time.
Not always, not always. But yeah, but for the CAD, it's the Bank of Canada meeting. It's not the employment change.
No, I understand. Yeah.
They don't release the report necessarily at the same moment.
Sure. Okay. No. What I meant was last time there was the CAD unemployment came out at the same time as the US.
Yeah, but Canada do not release the report on the employment necessarily always at the same time as USA.
Sure. Okay. So the reason that we do this is to help you save your money, so that your account money, not necessarily your profits, are impacted if there's a sudden change in an unexpected event comes up with the news. So anything that's marked high impact under or all time frames, where's something with that? Here we go. Or all time frames. Don't place any orders 1 hour prior to the news coming out and get out of them within half an hour of the news coming out. This is to avoid any spikes. Like some people like to trade news, or used to. The brokers are pretty onto it, have been for years now, and just spike up and down and grab everybody's money on the way. You can, if you know the global context, perhaps if you're using Eusebio's global bias advantage, you'll get an idea on what direction the pair should be moving in. So if you have a good idea like that, and price is moving in your favor and you're in the right direction, and there's news coming up, then sometimes you can take an extra risk and trade through the news and sit on it, or anticipate where the news is going to come out. But be careful of that. Okay, and the monitor ones are there to watch out for, to give you a bit more background on what's actually happening around the world. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, a bit more on this is that there are currencies that are more powerful than others, and the euro, the dollar, and the yen, it doesn't matter what pair you're trading. Any news coming up on these are important, and you have to do that 1 hour, half hour, no trading kind of thing before the news comes out on these three. For the smaller pairs, only do it for the pairs that these currencies are actually in. So if you're in the NZ yen, and there's news coming up on the yen or the Kiwi, on the Kiwi, then that could impact could impact on the NZ yen, so you don't want to be involved in it. But if you're trading something like the CAD yen and there's news coming up on the Kiwi, you don't have to worry about it so much. Just be aware that it's there. So, and some of these are tied together, like the Kiwi and the Aussie. If there's a blip in the Aussie, then there'll be a blip in the Kiwi because of the news coming out. So watch those two. And the pound kind of sits in between all of these. Sometimes, depending on what's going on in the world, and perhaps right now it'd be regarded as a large, high-impact currency. Other times, up till now, it's been kind of on the small side. During Brexit, it was its own master, and it was just run away from the pound because it could spike up or down 40 to 80 pips just based on a tweet. Anyway, I hope that helped. So the top 10 pairs we've got are here. Ranges, not much, getting a little bigger, not that much. We'll see what it's like this coming week. And for the less stressful ones to trade, I've gone down to the US Swiss.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So what we do is these top 10 pairs are the ones that make the most money, not the biggest pip movers, but make the most money out of things. And yeah, we recommend that you watch these. And so to avoid watching all 10 pairs every day kind of thing, Eusebio will now wave his magic mouse and correlate the top 10 pairs, these things, with the news coming up each day so that you get a couple, 4 to, say, 8, cut down the number of pairs that you need to monitor on a daily basis. And it changes each day. And these are the ones to watch first, the top 4s. And if none of these are moving very well, then these ones. And if, like it was during Brexit, that the pound was just being ropey and jumping all over the show, then you could have a look at the lower pairs, the less stressful ones, but still making more money than normal. And just something as a buy, all the CAD pairs that used to be over the last few weeks in the top 10 pairs have been bumped out and are now in the lower pairs. So they're no longer in the top. It's just something interesting I saw. Okay, so...
Yeah, and you can see that there was a strange pair in the top 10, which is not very usual, the Euro Swiss. But you will understand later why the Euro Swiss appears in the top 10. So.
Okay. Right. So let's marry the two up. On Sunday, we do not have any major news coming up. So nothing from Sunday. And on Monday up to 5 p.m., the beginning of the new day, or the end of that day, we have the Swiss.
The Swiss, okay.
And the CAD.
And the CAD. We don't have a CAD pair in the top 10, so yeah, we can add the pound CAD indeed in the so we will have a top 11.
Okay.
This is important because we have the central bank meeting with the CAD.
As
and
well,
I will have, yeah, and I will have something to say about the CAD.
Okay.
Something important.
Right. So Ralph will be happy. And let me just squish this over a bit so we've got 2 sets of informations.
Done 4 weeks, indeed.
Four? Sorry, what's the question? I don't understand.
How many weeks? Yeah, in Matap. We take 4 weeks. Yeah, indeed.
Okay. Yeah. Once we're through all this, I'll show the new people, the new students, how to come up with this top 10 pair so that you're not left on your own. Won't do it yet, and probably won't broadcast it out to everybody. So, okay.
So for Monday, the choice will be, so pound Swiss, euro Swiss.
Okay.
Pound Swiss, euro Swiss.
Yep.
Then pound CAD, pound Aussie. And then pound yen, euro yen.
JPY.
Yeah.
Get to invent my own currencies.
But I would like to add also the Chris on the third line, the pound Kiwi.
Okay. Right.
And if you trade the Kiwi pair, you can also consider possibly the Euro Kiwi. You will understand when I will give some explanation.
Okay.
In a moment, yeah. But the pound Kiwi is good.
Okay, I'll leave it at that. So that's for Monday. So the ones to watch are these ones initially, the top two boxes, and then if they aren't performing very well for you, then check out the bottom three. So, okay, the whole idea is not to burn yourself out trying to watch a whole pile of pairs. So this is why we're trying to minimize things for you and put you into the right direction. Okay, so leftovers from Monday after 5 p.m. We've got the, oh, sorry, Eusebio, there's also the US dollar.
Ah, the US dollar, okay. This change a little bit the choice. So pound Swiss, euro Swiss for the first choice.
Yep.
Then we will have the pound US dollar or pound CAD for the second choice.
Okay.
Pound CAD or pound US dollar.
Yep.
And then for the first choice, we will have the pound Aussie or the pound yen. Pound Aussie or pound yen. And we can add the pound Kiwi, so instead of the euro yen. Okay. We can keep the pound Kiwi instead of the euro yen. The euro, yeah.
Yep.
That way.
Okay. And so after 5 p.m. we have the Aussie.
Aussie, so Aussie, okay.
And we still have Aussie.
But Aussie is the central bank, so I have to note it in a very specific way. So double mark, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the end for Monday, and on Tuesday we have the CAD.
So the CAD, okay.
And the Kiwi.
And the Kiwi, okay, so the Kiwi here and here. Okay, so the first choice will be the pound Aussie or the euro Aussie. Pound Aussie or euro Aussie.
Okay. Euro Aussie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we will have the, let's see here, the pound Kiwi or euro Kiwi. Pound Kiwi or euro Kiwi. And then we will have the pound CAD or the pound yen.
Okay. So leftovers from Tuesday we have, so after 5 p.m. Tuesday we've got the Aussie.
The Aussie, so Aussie.
Yep, and the Kiwi. Because we're still not sure when Kiwi will come out.
The Kiwi usually comes during the first part of the US session. Okay. So we have to take it in the session. So I would take Kiwi, okay.
Okay, the pound.
The pound, We have also, Chris, I have seen the Aussie, no? But the Aussie, what was the news on the Aussie? Oh, it was the GDP, okay. Then the pound. So pound, and pound, yeah?
Okay. You remember I mentioned the Kiwi? I didn't quite understand your explanation.
No problem.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. The Kiwi, the news release is released during the first part of the US session.
Sure. So, because it's so flaky, so yeah. Are you keeping it in the after the 5 p.m. lot as well?
No.
Okay, we've changed that. Right. Okay, that's fine. It's a bit ambiguous. Okay, so we've got the pound, and then we've got the US dollar.
The US dollar here and here, yeah.
The CAD.
The CAD, but this is the central bank, so this is very important. Yeah.
And nothing up to 5.
Okay, so the first choice will be the pound CAD and the pound Kiwi. Pound CAD, pound Kiwi.
Yeah.
Then pound Aussie, pound US dollar. Pound Aussie, pound US dollar. And then pound yen. So pound yen and euro Kiwi.
Okay. Right. Leftovers from Wednesday. We've got. It's Wednesday. 7:30. We've got the Aussie.
The Aussie. So Aussie. Okay.
And on Thursday we've got the Swiss.
The Swiss here and here.
And nothing else.
Okay, so we will have pound Aussie, euro Aussie.
Okay.
Then pound Swiss, euro Swiss. Pound Swiss, euro Swiss.
Yep.
And then pound yen, euro yen.
Okay, and leftovers from Thursday, we've got nothing. Only that we don't take the monitors, if anybody's wondering. And we've got the pound on Friday.
So the pound, and pound, yeah.
And the non-farm payroll, US dollar.
And the US dollar comes here and here. Okay, so we will have the pound US dollar or euro US dollar, pound US dollar or euro US dollar.
Yep. Okay.
Then the pound Aussie or pound yen.
Do I have one? I can't see it.
Pound Aussie, pound yen.
Yep.
And then we will have pound Kiwi, pound Swiss. Pound Kiwi, pound Swiss.
Okay. Okay. Got them all. Okay. So I just want to check something. Yeah, pound CAD. Don't know why that changed to Aussie. Oh, because it's the top one, pound CAD. There. Okay. Okay. So, like I said, when you're trading each day, pick the top pairs initially, and if they're not working for you, go for the next level down. And if none of those are working, that takes care of all the top 10 pairs. Then have a look at some of the less stressful ones, but less profitable ones. Just depends on how the markets are moving at the time. You may find these easy to use, and so until you get more practice at the more volatile pairs, they could be easy for you, and you're still making money. Not as much, but still making money, and not necessarily as hard to make the money. Okay. Any questions, anybody? And I will remember your question, Dan, and show you after Eusebio's done his little presentation. Okay, no questions. If you do have any, just ask, but I'll come back and show you how to build the top 10 pairs anyway. And once Eusebio's finished. Yep, so, but if you have any questions, please ask. And you said
keep the calendar open, Chris, because we will use it. So.
Okay. Don't want to jump to your machine?
No, there was no need. You can illustrate what I'm going to explain.
Okay, I'm giving you the mouse. You have control.
Okay, so if you can scroll down a little bit at the moment when we'll have the the Central Bank of Australia and then of Canada, because this is always important to understand. So Reserve Bank of Australia is on Monday. So you can see that the expectation is unchanged. So the expectation is to leave the interest rates unchanged. And this is what the market is expecting. So there is probably no possibility for the Aussie to strengthen this week. So we have to pay attention to that. But we need always to pay attention because we never know what the central bank can take as a decision for sure. And so, but if they do not change their interest rates, if they announce, for example, a tightening of their QE or monetary policy facilities, we can see the Aussie somewhat strengthening. I don't believe a lot, but this is a possibility. So you have to keep an eye on what the rate statement will be. Now, if we look on the Bank of Canada, the Bank of Canada is expected, it's the next day or 2 days later, is expected to increase its interest rate by 25 basis points. So 0.25%. And this is why we can see possibly the CAD already strengthening. And this is almost sure that Canada will increase its interest rate. And so if this is indeed the case, we should see the CAD strengthenings. But there is a second reason why the CAD could possibly strengthen during this week. You know that there is a very important geopolitical event which is happening for the moment with Ukraine, and the Occidental countries are taking or are deciding restrictions against Russia, even if Russia do not care a lot about these restrictions, because I have the impression, for example, that Europe is telling to Russia, we are punishing you, but please do not cut off oil and gas for us. So this is a strange situation, in fact. But one of the possible restrictions they can take is to cut off Russia from the SWIFT banking system. This is something which is considered, and there are some countries wanting that. Biden is opposed to that. Many other countries are also opposed to that. And why? Because we have to understand that the SWIFT system is an interbanking payment system, but also messaging system. And so it plays an important role in all the trades around the world. And of course, Russia use SWIFT for its own payments. It must pay or it must receive. It must receive. And if Russia is cut off from SWIFT, what is the problem? The problem is this can create some perturbations in two important markets for which Russia is an important provider, oil and gas. And the price of oil, if this is the case, will go up, and the price of gas will go up also. And if the price of oil will go up, this will favor, furthermore, the CAD, of course. But there is also a possibility, but okay, so this is, can you display now, Chris, the chart of oil, for example? You can take crude oil. Because if you remember 2 or 3 weeks ago, I have said that the price of oil could go between $95 and $96.
So this is a weekly chart.
Display the daily chart, Chris. I think it will be a bit clearer. Yeah, and make a zoom out. Or a 4-hour chart. It will be perhaps even easier. 4-hour chart. We will see better details. Yeah, you see that there is a high, and can you draw, no, there is not necessary to draw a line on that high. The high has almost reached 105, but we can see that there is also an important resistance around 95, between 95 and 96 with at this level. So we have a resistance here and a support, so in this level, between 95 and 96. And this is why the price came back to this level. And so if there is indeed a decision about cutting off Russia from the SWIFT system, we could see so the price of oil go, again starting to increase. And so this will favor the CAD currency, of course, but there will be another problem too. And on the contrary, if they take the decision to not cut off Russia from SWIFT, we could see the continuation of this pullback we are seeing from 2 days now in the price of oil. And so there was a good possibility for the price to retrace, for example, around the home base, in which case the impact of the central bank, the Bank of Canada, increasing their interest rates can be a little bit limited. And so you have to take account these information. What will happen, I don't know. You have to keep yourself informed day after day and even hours after hour to see what will happen. But there was another important concern. We have seen also that there is a possibility so for the price of oil to increase. But what will happen for many countries if the price of oil and gas will increase? What is the consequence about that on their respective economy? Mainly for Europe, for example, because Russia is a big provider in oil and gas for Europe. Yeah, inflation. Inflation will increase. And if inflation, the inflation is already high in USA, in Europe, and if the price of oil and gas continue to go upward, the inflation will be much more important. And this will put much more expectation on the central bank to consider increasing their interest rates. But what is the problem with increasing the interest rates for the moment? The economies in USA and in Europe are not good. And this will hurt the economy. And we will see, for example, the stock market crashing or going downward, because we are in a period of low economy with big inflation. This is called stagflation, and a stagflation period is never a good period. And so you see, by understanding the phenomenon which are happening for the moment, you can have some scenario. If this happens, we will see this. If this happens, we will see this. And knowing what may happen, you can decide how to trade as soon as the event appears. So, and indeed, the US stock market is already expecting the rate increase because we are seeing a trend reversal in the stock market. And if you follow my max advantage bias, my directional bias, and if you examine more specifically the long-term bias, you can observe that I'm bearish on the stock market for several weeks now, and I have not changed my bias. And so by understanding what is happening, you may have an idea of what may happen. So we may have several different types of scenario, some completely at the opposite of the other, but in each scenario, you know what you can do. If there is indeed an increase of the interest rates in Europe, the euro should a bit strengthen, but on the contrary, if they do not increase their interest rate on their next meeting, the euro is in a bad position because of the situation, the present situation, and so we can see a continuation of the weakening of the euro. And so shorting the euro could be a good possibility. Going long the kiwi could be a good possibility. Going long the CAD could be a good possibility. Now, going long or short the crude oil will depend on what will happen with Russia. So this is how you have to analyze the situations in the global context, and especially the geopolitical events and their impact in the economies, and so the impact in the market, to define what kind of scenario you can consider in your trading decision, either for swing trading or for day trading. So this is what I wanted to explain in these 5 minutes. So just a small exercise of global context analysis, and I hope this can help you to improve your understanding of this context, and so your trading, and how you have to take all this information into account to make your own possible scenarios.
Cool. Thank you, Eusebio. And for those listening, and perhaps not Max's, this Friday in the non-farm payroll, Eusebio will be trading a pair live, and perhaps you can ask more questions at that particular point of what's happening through this week. So you should get a follow-up on this.